So in this lesson we're going to talk about factorising into single brackets. Now factorising is the reverse of multiplying out the brackets. It's the opposite. So in factorising you actually put the brackets back in. Okay, now this is the method. You take out the biggest number that goes into all the terms. For each letter in turn, take out the highest power. It could be x or x squared. That will go into every term. You then open the brackets. And fill in all the parts needed to reproduce each term. Finally, you can check your answer by multiplying out the brackets and making sure it matches the first expression. Now review. This is a review here. Now we've got this expression 2 into x plus 2. So what you do here, use the distributive law. You multiply everything inside the bracket by 2, so this will be 2 times x, which will be 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4. This is also called expanding the bracket. Again, you have 5 into x minus 4. So this will be 5 times x, which is 5x, and 5 times minus 4, which is minus 20. So it's expanding, yeah? And in this situation you have a minus here, and that's into y plus 2. Now actually there's a hidden 1 here. If you have a minus on its own, actually there's a minus 1 here. So it's minus 1 times y, which is minus y, and minus 1 times plus 2, which is minus 2. So the answer is minus y minus 2. So this bracket outside changes the sign inside the, this negative outside changes the sign of everything inside the bracket here. So this goes from positive y and positive 2 to negative y and negative 2. Now example 4, 7 into 3x minus 3. So by expanding the bracket you multiply 7 by 3x, which is 21x, and 7 times minus 3, which is minus 21. Okay, so this is expanding the bracket. You're multiplying out the bracket. Now we're going to do the reverse. We're going to factorize. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the brackets back in. Now we're going to use this first example. So we're going to do the opposite. So if it's the opposite, we're going to start from the result. So we're going to start from 2x plus 4. So we're going to have 2x plus 4. This is the final result from multiplying out the bracket. So we're going to start at the end, yeah? And this, we're going to put the brackets back in. So you start at 2x plus 4 and you factorize this expression. And what are the factors of 2x plus 4? So the factor is actually 2. So you put the 2 outside, yeah, the green 2, and the terms inside the bracket. To find out what terms you put inside the bracket, what you do is, this 2 is outside, you say 2x divided by 2. 2x divided by 2 is just x, so that's the first term that will go in the bracket. Then 4 divided by 2, which is 2, that's the second term, so it's going to be x plus 2. Now to see if this is right, you can multiply this out, you can expand, and if it is right, you'll get this again. You get the first expression. So 2 times x, yeah, so it's 2x, and 2 times 2 is 4, so this is correct. Yeah, this 2 is called the HCF, the highest common factor. So that's the biggest number, which will go into this 2x plus 4. The HCF is the biggest number, the highest common factor is the biggest number, which will go into 2x plus 4. In this case it's 2. Now the second example, we have minus y minus 2. Now, so we open the brackets here. We can see that this minus is common to the minus y and minus 2. So we can put this outside, yeah? And to decide what we put inside, we divide this minus, which is actually a minus 1, by minus y. So minus y divided by minus 1 is actually plus y. So that's the first term. And minus 2 divided by minus 1, we get this minus 1 from here because there's invisible 1 here. So minus 2 divided by minus 1, two minuses divided by each other gives a plus, so it's plus 2. So it's plus 2, yeah? So we have this. To check this is right, we can multiply this out, and if it is, we would get this. So y, so minus into y will give me minus y, and minus into plus 2, which will be minus 2. So we'll have minus 2, so it's correct. And 21x, take away 21, yeah? So what's the highest common factor of 21x and 21? The biggest number which will go into both of them is actually 7. So put the 7 outside. To decide what we put inside, we divide the 7 into 21x. That is actually 3x, because 7 goes into 21 3 times, so it's 3x. And how many 7s will go into 21? So it's going to minus 21. It's going to be minus 3. Yeah, so that's the second term. So it will be 7 into open bracket 3x minus 3. Again, to check if it's right, you multiply it out. 7 times 3x is 21x. So that's correct. And 7 times minus 3 is minus 21. So that's okay. Now we're going to factorize these expressions. We've got 3x plus 15. So if we find the highest common factor of 3x and 15, the biggest number which will go into both of them, yeah, that's another way to do it. You could split it up. So 3x is actually 3 times x, plus 15 is actually 3 times 5, yeah. The factors of 15 are 3 and 5, yeah, they're both going to 15. Now we can see from here that we have 3 is common in this first expression, and there is 3 here as well. So 3 is in green. So because 3 is common to both of the expressions, you put the 3 outside, yeah, in front of the bracket. Then you open the bracket, and to decide what goes in, you find out ask yourself what's left behind. If we take this 3 out from here, what's left behind here is an x. So the first time is going to be an x. If we take this 3 out from here, what's left is this red 5 plus 5. So it's going to be plus 5, yeah? So 3 into x plus 5, yeah? Now if you multiply this out, you'll find that you'll get 3x plus 15. Now this second question, factorize 4a minus 16. So you can split the 4a into 4 times a, and it's take away, and you split the 16 into 4 times 4. The factors, you factorize 16, 4 times 4. Then you see what's common in both of the terms. So there's a 4 here and there's a 4 here, green. So you put that 4 outside. Then to find out, to make up the bracket, you put in what's left behind. So there's an a here, so you put the a here, open bracket, you put the a, and there's a minus 4, red minus 4, so you put minus 4 here, close bracket, and if you multiply this out, you get this. Now we have another example, 12x plus 20. Now you can factorize this into 2 times 6x plus 10, because 2 is a factor of 12 and 20, yeah? But this is incorrect. When you factorize, normally you have to find the highest common factor. Although 2 is a factor of 12 and 20, it's not the highest common factor. The highest common factor of 12 and 20 is 4, right? So again we have 12x plus 20. We can split the 12x into 4 times 3x, because 4 times 3 is 12. So we'll have 12x plus 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Now 4 is common to both of them, so you put the 4 outside, and what's left behind is what goes in the bracket. So you have a 3x, yeah, here, so you put that here, plus 5. So in the close bracket, 3x plus 5. If you multiply this out, you'll get this. So 4 times 3x is 12x, and 4 times 5 is 20. Question 4, minus 14a minus 21. So you split the 14a, you factorize it. So factor is 7 and 2, yeah. Factors of 14 is 7 and 2, yeah. So you put this, so it's minus 7 and 2a, okay. Then the factors of 21 are 7 and 3, okay. So it's minus 7 and 3. So there is a minus here because there's a minus here, okay. Now you can see again, minus 7 and minus 7 is common to both of the terms, this term and this term. So you put the minus 7 outside. Then what's left here? Left here is 2a, so you put 2a, you open bracket, you put 2a here, and what's left here is a 3 plus 3 close bracket. So it's minus 7 open 2a plus 3. So the highest common factor of minus 14 and minus 21 is actually minus 7. So you put the minus 7 outside the bracket. Now question 5, 3x minus 15y. So you factorize this expression. So you can write it out like this. You can decompose it, 3 times x times y, yeah? And 15y, you could factorize 15 into 3 and 5. 3 times 5 is 15 times y, okay? Now 3 and y are common to both terms, so you put 3y outside. So what's left behind here is x, open bracket x, and what's left behind here is a minus 5, so you put a minus 5 here. So it's 3y open, 3y into x minus 5. If you multiply this out, you should get this. So the 3 times yx will give me 3xy. 3 times y minus 5 is going to give me minus 15. So it's correct. So that's how you check it. You can multiply it out again to see if you get the original expression. So now we're going to factorize these expressions. Number 1, x squared plus 7x. So you write it like this, x times x squared is x times x, plus 7 times x. So what's common to this and this? The x's are common. There's x here, there's x here. So you put the x outside. And what's left behind here is x. So you put the, open the bracket, put x here in red. And what's left behind here is 7. So you put the plus 7. Question 2. 3x squared minus 6x. So again you write it out like this. 3 times x, which is x squared, minus 2 can be written as 2 times 3, yeah? So you get the minus, this minus, because there's a minus here, and 2 times 3 is 6, yeah? And it's just times x. So again we have 3 is common, so we put 3 outside, and the x is common to both. Put the x aside, so 3x is outside. What's left behind is the x minus 2, x minus 2. So we're going to have 3x squared, question 3, minus 10x is equal to, and we split this up, this into 3 times x minus 10 times x. So what's common to this and this is 3x. Sorry, in this is slightly different. In here it's only the x's which are common. So you have a green x here and the green x here. So it's the x which goes outside the bracket. There's no other factors. So if you take out the x, you get left with 3x. So 3x goes inside is the first term. And if you take out the x, you just get left with minus 10. Yeah, minus 10. So this will be 3x minus 10. So you can't break this down anymore. So this is x into 3x minus 10. Yeah, so here it's only the x, these two x's which are common. So here we have minus y minus 4. Now this can be written like this, can be written as minus 1 times y and minus 1 times 4. So there are actually invisible ones in front of the y and the 4, so it can be written like this. So again, what is common to this first expression and the second? So it's actually minus y. So we put the minus 1, sorry. So we put the minus 1 outside. Then you're left with y, yeah, then plus 4, yeah. So it's minus y, open bracket, y plus 4. Now you don't put this minus 1 outside, so you just leave it as a negative, yeah. So it'll be negative y plus 4. So this is the answer. So factorizing this will give me this, negative open bracket y plus 4 close bracket. Now we have 3x squared times y plus 8xy squared. This can be split up like this, henceforth 3 times x times y, and 18, if you factorize it, you can split it up as 3 times 6 is 18, yeah, times x times y times y. Now you look to see what's common in this and in this. So 3 is common, so you put the 3 in front. X is common, x, you put the x in front, and y is common, green y. So it's 3xy, because 3xy is in this term and in this term, so put it outside. Then what you put, you decide to put what's in the bracket by looking at what's remaining. On this side there's x remaining, so it's going to be an x, and on this side there's a 6 and a y remaining, so it's going to be plus 6y. Okay, so if you multiply this out, you should get this. Now 6y cubed minus 7y squared is equal to, I'm going to do like this. I'm going to say y times y squared. Y times y squared is actually y cubed, which is this. Take away 7 times y squared. Now we see what's common here and here. We can see that the y squared and the y squared is common to both of these expressions, so the y goes in front of the bracket, okay? And what's left behind? Y is left behind, so you open the bracket, you put the y, and what's left behind here is a minus 7, so you put a minus 7 and close the bracket. So this factorizes to y squared open bracket y minus 7 close bracket. 7, the last one, this is actually similar, this is actually an equation of motion. So half mv squared minus half mu squared. We've been asked to factorize this. This is equal to, so you split this up, which is going to be half times m times v squared minus half times m times u squared, which is equal to, so we can see what's common in both the terms. So there's a half, so you put the half outside. There's m, which is also common, so it's half m. Yeah, then you see what's left behind. So v squared is left behind, so you open the bracket and you put a v squared. Then what's left behind here? There's a minus u squared, so you put a minus u squared and you close the bracket. So that's the end of this video explaining factorization and introduction.